Well, today's been interesting. All sorts of interruptions. Haven't done a thing. Anyway, I was thinking about this morning. This got sent to me by a bloke I follow on YouTube over in the UK. Aviation, of course. Thanks, Terry. But I was just having a laugh at it because OK to move, brakes off. This is obviously relating to aircraft. Well, yep, the brakes are definitely off. I would suggest that is not OK to move. Bloody flies. Anyway, let's grab this out. See? Short field. Terry, good on you, mate. But, if we flip it over, not OK. That makes more sense. Not OK to move. Do not move. Well, the brakes aren't on. They're off. But in the case of a vehicle, that makes more sense. Anyway, I'm going to think about pulling this master cylinder apart because I haven't had time to touch it and it's already 3:30. There you go. Ah, would you look at that? I got some bloody bench space. Who's that? Okay, mate. Anyway, now I've got room to pull this apart. And it's only 4 o'clock. Let's get some stuff done. Some history there. Well, so there's the master, which I haven't touched since yesterday. All I did was gave it a quick clean up on the outside to get rid of all the brake fluid and nastiness, because that was feral. It's still dirty. Not as bad as it was. There's some of my new tools, because you're going to need them, because there's circlips. Now, I am not a bloody mechanic, mate. Just saying. I'm a communications specialist, not a mechanic. There's the kit I bought. Just a seal kit. Doesn't come with instructions. I've never even removed a master cylinder off a car before, let alone rebuild one. Don't even know if I can rebuild it yet. The piston could be damaged. I don't know. We're going to find out. What's the worst that can happen? I break it. And then I get someone else to fix it. Or I'll learn how to fix it myself. Or I'll buy a new one. So, no harm in having a go, is there? Now, I do have a vise here if I need it. I've got a much bigger vise than that. It's somewhere under there. And if I need to harden up a bit, well, I've got plenty of stuff to do that too. Anyway, now that I've got some bench space, I'm going to have a go and pull this thing apart. But I won't be able to film it because I need 2 hands. So there you go. Let's do some stuff. That was bugging me. Oh, what's that? Sidetracked. Let's get back to work. Alright, so I'll just turn the fan off because that's actually pretty loud. Not that I've checked what the footage sounds like. But just interesting things you notice when you work on these older cars, being the VL. Oh yeah. Not everything is metric. It's really odd. So, for example, the brake lines that I undid and the bolts that held the master on were all metric. The front 2 brake lines were 10mm. The rear one here was 12. That's a 10mm socket. Kids next door being loud. So we need to undo this. It's not a 10mm. That's obvious. It's too small. So here is a 12mm socket. Too big. That nut is Imperial. Some of the older cars I used to work on, I'm talking many, many years older than the VL. Some things were SAE, which is a whole different thing together. So, let's try a 7/16. Where is it? It's upside down, but it's a 7/16. Look at that. Perfect fit. Interesting. One little component, two different types of measurements. What I also find funny, when everybody goes, oh, Australia converted to metric, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, sort of. 10mm socket. But what's this? It's a 3/8 drive. Interesting combination. There's no such thing as a 10mm drive, is there? They're 1/4 inch, 3/8, 1/2 inch, 3/4 or an inch. So, that's why I guess Aussies have a better understanding of both systems. Or, that's just how it is. I really don't care. Anyway, I should probably get to doing stuff. doing stuff. Well, that was easy. Undid the 7/16 bolt. Nut. It's not a bolt, mate. That's the bolt. Or the tap thread. Whatever you want to call it. So there's a little O-ring in here. Excuse me. These weren't leaking, by the way. There's some O-rings in there. I'm guessing they're in the kit. I'm assuming they are. It's a bit leaky. This thing under here, I have absolutely no idea what that is. Absolutely no idea. Anyway, it's plastic. Got a little bit warm from when I put the heat gun on it. Whoops. That's definitely not in the kit. So anyway, next job. I'm guessing that, yep, that'll undo. That's got an Allen key head. Alright. I wonder if that's going to be metric or Imperial. Next thing will be to undo this and see if I can get this out, which is the piston. Risking making a mess. When you put your foot on the brake pedal, that's what you're doing. Yeah, it's making a mess. And I'm getting covered in brake fluid. Whatever, mate. I've got gloves, so I should probably put them on. Yeah, no, $50. I'll just wash my hands. Anyway, stop getting sidetracked. Let's pull this damn thing apart. You can't watch. Haha. Alright. Now I can try and pull this apart on the bench, which I'm thinking about doing. Then I was like, well, maybe I can put it in the vise. That's as wide as that vise goes. Bugger. So, I said I had a bigger one. There it is. I think that will fit. The only thing is, this isn't bolted to the bench. Reason being is space. This bench always gets occupied with different things. Different things that I'm doing. So, I'll see what happens. It might work, it might not. There we go. Now I can't mount it flat because it's uneven surface. Where that is, and the little bit on the other end are different widths. This way. This one's wider. But anyway, it's in the vise. It fits. Not that one. Alright, I'm going to pull it apart. Well, I'm glad I pointed it upwards. That actually came out fairly easy. I just used the straight ones because the bent ones were a little bit awkward. And it is spring loaded, of course. Excuse me, bit of crud on the end there. It's leaking. Yep. Juicy. Yep, it's making a mess. Come around the side. Boom. There's our piston. And all the seals. Now, I believe this is a seal that's failed. Because while the brakes were working fine, it was weeping out of the back. And down the brake booster. And all over the chassis rail. So, oh, it's got some gunk on it. Look at that. That's the bottom. Ew. Anyway, that's a part. I'm going to grab my oil drain pan, bring that over to the bench, start giving this thing a clean, and probably put a torch down there and see if the bore looks damaged. Just looking from what I can see here, seems to be alright. Anyway, we shall continue. I don't even know if I need to take that out. Should I do it? Maybe that's the leak. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's here. Alright. Now I have brake cleaner and stuff like that. But this really needs a good scrubbing. So I just splashed a little bit of petrol in the bottom of there. Because petrol works as a cleaner. Solvent, same thing, right? Need something to brush it off. What have we got? Let's try this. Yeah, maybe not. That's not going to work. Alright, what about this? Yeah. That could work. Oh, we got this. No, that's not a dunny brush. It's a part scrubbing brush. And of course I'm not going to sit there and film and do all this. Bugger that. But the reason I started recording again was not because I'm cleaning parts. When I started pulling this apart, so that being the piston that came out, this being the spring that's behind it that goes in the bore, the ends of this spring, both ends, are really, really sharp. They've been wearing. This is the end that was on the piston. Boop, just like that. Interesting. I guess it rotates. That's what's causing it. It feels like a razor. Anyway, back to cleaning. Now it goes without saying, put some bloody safety gear on. Not that hard. You know what I mean? Alrighty. Well, that's as scrubbed up as it's going to get for now. Next step would be pulling all the seals apart and taking that outside, because I had to put the fan back on because it fracking stinks. It's reeking the shit out. Anyway, keep doing that. May need to refresh my beer because it just ran out. And it's now, I don't know, 4:30, 5 o'clock. Don't know. I'm not watching the time, I'm just doing stuff. Don't know, mate. Alright, well, it's 7:15. I've been slightly sidetracked. You know how that works. I was about to cut this open and start pulling seals. Blah, blah, blah. But I've got dinner cooking. And so I've had to wash up, clean up. And I ain't getting my hands dirty to continue with this. So it's either going to be I'll be back to this later on, maybe, or I'll be back till tomorrow. We'll see. I might just put what I've got together and I'll leave it at that. I don't know. I don't do the whole let's do a video a week or whatever you want to call it. Don't care. We'll see. Don't know, mate. I am not a mechanic.